Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the TRRC, to the beginning of our 10th session of our public hearings. Before we proceed, two things that we would do: hear prayers from our religious leaders, and I'll read a brief statement on behalf of the commissioners. Imam, you have the floor, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim, siratal ladzina an'amta 'alayhim ghayril maghdubi 'alayhim waladdallin. Alhamdulillahi hadina li hadha wa ma kunna linahtadi lawla anna hadina Allahul awwal wal akhir wal zakhir wal batin. يا ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي وجلال وجهك وعظيم سلطانك وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد خاتم النبيين وإمام المرسلين ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين.
آمين. شكرا Imam Jallo. Bishop, you have the floor, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Lord God Almighty, we continue to ask for your mercy. Your mercy on this nation. Your mercy on this land. Your mercy on the populace. We continue to ask that you forgive the wrongs that we have done, the things that have hurt individuals, that have hurt families. We ask for your compassion. That you will give us the enablement and the courage to be able to forgive the wrongs that we have done to one another. That you will give us the courage to be able to accept the repentance of those who have offended. That you will give us the courage together by reconciling with one another, so that your healing grace and mercy will spread throughout this land. You will heal all who are sick. You will heal all who are sick. And your grace will fall mightily upon this land, because there will be peace, and there will be forgiveness, and all will fear your justice. This we ask through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much indeed, Bishop. We will now, I'll read a statement on behalf of the Commission. This is in line with the tradition that we have now established. At the beginning of each session, we highlight the main topics of the previous session, and then inform you of what the main points would be for the session that is just beginning. This is a statement on behalf of the Commission. On Thursday, October 31st, the TRRC concluded its 9th session of public hearings. During that session, 15 witnesses testified, bringing the total number of witnesses testified before the Commission to 144. 31 of these witnesses were female and 113 male. 32 were perpetrators and alleged perpetrators. The 9th session was yet another phase of the public hearings of the Commission dedicated to victims of sexual and gender-based violence who, against all odds, were willing to come forward and recount in public their private pain that they had suffered in silence for so long. Sexual violence and sexual slavery are terrible crimes that can shock the human conscience, as we have seen recently in the trial, conviction, and the sentencing of Jean Bosco Ntaganda at the International Criminal Court in The Hague. These terrible crimes must be taken seriously, investigated, and exposed, no matter by whom they were committed. The perpetrators of these crimes cannot and must not escape justice. Jean Bosco Ntaganda has not escaped justice. The testimonies of victims during the 9th session revealed that officials in the highest echelons of government and their subordinates inflicted upon weak and vulnerable women horrendous sexual violence and abuse that not only violated the criminal laws of the land, but was also a stain on the moral fiber of the Gambia. The Commission was appalled to note that after sharing their painful experiences of sexual violence with the Gambian public, had to contend with a barrage of vilifications from some members of our society. So bad was this negative backlash against these brave women that the Commission had to issue a press statement urging restraint and respect for these victims. Perhaps we should share the fact that those courageous women who came forward to publicly testify about being sexually violated are a select few among many with whom the TRRC has had conversations, but who declined to testify either publicly or behind closed doors for a number of reasons, but particularly because they dread the public stigma and the insults that will follow them afterwards. The Commission, of course, fully understands and respects the decision of these women not to testify. The Commission equally feels the pain of those who testified and were subsequently stigmatized. The Commission appeals to be more sensitive to the pain of these vulnerable women and to respect their privacy and their integrity. The Commission urges all victims to please come forward and file their complaints with the TRRC, even if they are unwilling to testify. Victim participation in this process is extremely important in helping the Commission to get to the truth of what happened regarding sexual and gender-based violence and the other forms of human rights abuses. And this is our 10th session of public hearings. That starts today, November 11th, and will end on December 5th. The Commission will hear testimonies on the 2009 witch hunting exercise conducted against innocent Gambians by the former president and members of his security forces with the help of sorcerers. Where necessary, the Commission will, during the course of these hearings, hear testimony on other forms of human rights violations and abuses. i.e. from November 11th today to November 14th. The rest of the public hearings will be held in villages and towns of Sibanor, will last 4 weeks instead of the usual 3 weeks. It is anticipated that all the hearings will be covered and streamed live by both QTV and the other media houses and the journalists. Hearings for the first week of the session hearing outreach activities in Sintet, Sibanor, Jambur, and SL. The teams have visited all these communities and met village heads, imams, and other elders with a view to informing them of the Commission's work for discussion, seeking their support and blessings, and identifying suitable. We are glad to report that all these community engagements went very well indeed. And so, as we start this 10th and the final session of public hearings for 2019, we continue to crave the support and prayers of all members of the general public. Thank you very much indeed for your kind attention. This is the end of the statement on behalf of the Commission. Council, are we ready to proceed with this morning's hearings? If we are, please proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, and members of the audience. We are ready to proceed with the next witness. Thank you. Mr. Usher, kindly get the witness from the witness room. Interpreters, please note that the witness wishes to speak in the Wolof language.
I, Abdou Colley,
I, Abdou Colley,
Man Abdou Colley,
I, Abdou Colley,
man Abdou Colley, maa ngi génn
maa ngi waat
I, Abdou Colley,
man Abdou Colley,
man Abdou Colley
maa ngi waat ne
maa ngi waat ne
dinaa wax dëgga
dinaa wax dëgga
dëgga bi yépp
dëgga bi yépp
te duma fi wax dara lu doonul dëgga
te du ma wax dara lu dul dëgga
kon yàlla dimbali ma
yàlla ma yàlla dimbali
Good morning, Mr. Colley.
mu ne Mr. Colley lawyer bi mu ne mu ngi laa nuyu
maa jàmm nga fanaan
Welcome to the TRRC.
ñu ngi laa dalal fii ci TRRC
jërëjëf excellent jàmm
Thank you.
And thank you for agreeing to testify today.
jërëjëf ci li nga nangu pour ñëw fii joxe fi sa seede
def man tam kontaan naa si pour ñëw fi tey
I'm also pleased to be present here today.
Please draw the microphone close to you so that we can hear you properly.
mun ngaa xëcca microphone bi mu jigéen laa jege ndax ñu mun laa dégg bu baax
We met yesterday, and as you know, my name is Sagar.
tasee nañ démba te comme ni nga ko xamee rek maa ngi tudda Sagar
dëgga la
It's true.
And before we begin your testimony, I just want to provide you with some guidelines to help you as you testify today.
léegi balaa ñoo commencé dama la bëgg a waxal li nga xam ne mooy sarfe yi tëra fii balaa ñoo commencé sa seede gi
ke baax na
It's good.
We want you to be as comfortable as possible.
dañ bëgg nga jël toogaay bu jekka comme ni mu waree
toog naa bu baax
I am well seated.
Are you sure you don't want to lean back into your seat so that you're more comfortable?
bu la neexee nag foogloo ne mun ngaa wéeru nga xam ne di nga mun a toog toogaay bu jekka
I think that's better.
waaw baax na ni
You can draw the microphone closer to you so that you don't have to lean forward when you're speaking. Very
Léegi ma-
good. Also, try and speak directly into the mic so that we can hear you very clearly.
waaw bu ko defee na nga fexe booy wax nga jubal sa gémmiñ gi ci microphone bi ndax ñu mun laa dégg bu baax
baax na
As you will be speaking in the Wolof language,
comme que yow ci làkki olof nga pare pour wax
waaw
we must keep in mind that we have interpreters in the background.
ñu fàttaleku ne nag am na ñuy làppatoo ci làkki réew mi
waaw
Interpreting your testimony into English and various local languages.
li nga xam ne mooy seede gi nga fee joxe yépp dañ koo làppatoo ci angale ak ci yeneen làkki réew mi
dëgga la
It's
So
true.
please take it slowly.
bon nag bul gaawal sa wax ji nga dalal ko
Make very short statements.
te boko wax nanga di ko gàttal.
Also, allow me to finish my questions and pause briefly for about 3 seconds.
te it bu ma lay laaj danga xaar ba ma jeexal li ma la laaj ba pare bu ko defee nag nga dal tuuti ba ñetti seconde nga door maa tontu.
Before you respond to avoid our speeches overlapping.
bu ko defee nag loolu dina tax ba suñ kàddu yi du teglante.
And this will allow the interpreters to do their job properly.
te loolu tamit dina mun a dimbale ñiy làppatoo ñu mun a def seen liggéey bu baax.
And also members of the audience and the commissioners to follow your testimony properly.
ak it ñi nga xam ne ñoo laa déglu di la seetaan. ñu mun a toppa li nga wax bu baax.
If at any point you would like me to repeat my question,
jamono joo xamee ne nag bugga nga ma baamtuwaat li ma la laaj.
or clarify any of the questions that I have asked,
wala loo xam ne laaj naa la ko.
please don't hesitate to ask.
nga la laaj ma rek ma defaat ko.
Alternatively, if you would also like a break at any point, just call my attention, please.
buñ demee ba jamono joo xam ne tamit bugga ngaa noppale ko nga dallu tuuti wax ma ko.
Before we start your testimony, I would like to remind you that you took an oath today.
balaa ñoo door nag sa seede gi dama la bëgg a fàttali ne am na waat boo xam ne waat nga ko tey jii.
And you have a duty to tell the truth
te nag sa warugal la nag pour nga wax dëgga.
and the whole truth.
te dëgga rek nga fi war a wax.
And I must warn you that lying on the oath before the commission is an offense.
te maa ngi laa dénku ne soo waatee ba pare ba nga waxuloo dëgga ci kanam commission bi loolu dafa mel ni yàq nga luwaa.
As the chairman mentioned this morning, we are currently investigating the witch hunting theme.
comme ni ko chairman bi waxee woon ci suba jamono ji nag dafa am ay gëstu yoo xam ne ñu ngi koo def ci ñi nga xam ne tamoon nañ leen duma.
And you have agreed to tell us all you know about the witch hunting exercise which happened at the police headquarters in 2009.
te yow tamit nangu nga ne di ñu wax lépp loo xam ne xam nga ko ci tamam duma boobu nga xam ne mu ngi amoon 2009 ci biir réew mi.
We will therefore like you to tell us what happened to you and your colleagues on that fateful day.
dinañ bugga nag nga waxal ñu li la dal ak say naataangoo tamit lana leen dal ci bés boobu noonu.
And any other information you wish to tell the commission.
ak gannaaw loolu tam bépp xibaar boo xam ne rek am nga ko nga bugga koo wax commission bi mun ngañ koo wax.
After your testimony, the commissioners will have an opportunity to ask you any additional questions they may have.
boo paree nag sa seede bi yépp commissioner yi ñoom tamit dinañ am loo xam ne dinañ la ko mun a laaj bu fekkee ne am nañ luñ la laaj.
And you will also be given an opportunity to make any final statements.
bu ko defee nag ñu dal di la jox yow tamit nga joxe sa ay kàddu yu mujja.
Please confirm that you understand all that I have said before we begin.
léegi nag balaa ñoo door dama bëgg nga wéral man ne lépp li ma la waxal fii nii leer na la bu baax.
waaw leer na ma bu baax a baax.
Yes, it's very clear.
Thank you very much. Please give us your full names.
jërëjëf léegi nag wax ñu sa tur.
man maa ngi tudd Abdou Colley.
I am Abdou Colley.
What is your date and place of birth?
ban bés nga juddu ak fan nga juddoo.
maa ngi juddoo 1958 in Ibo Town.
I was born in 1958 in Ibo Town.
Please wait for the interpreters before you answer the question, since you've asked to speak in Wolof.
léegi nag comme que nangu nga pour wax ci olof danga xaar bu ma la laajee nga xaar kii làppatoo mu làppatool la ko ba pare nga soog a tontu.
What is your current address?
fan nga dëkk jamono ji.
maa ngi dëkk Karaba police station.
I am resident at the Karaba police station.
And what is your occupation?
lan mooy sa liggéey.
Police officer.
I'm a police officer.
What is your rank and current position?
lan mooy sa maxaama ak ci yan maxaama nga tollu jamono ji.
Chief superintendent.
I'm a chief superintendent.
And what position do you currently occupy?
jamono ji ci ban liggéey nga tollu nii.
Right now some position CDO.
Right now I am the CDO.
Please tell us what CDO means.
lan mooy CDO.
Chief disciplinary officer.
Chief disciplinary officer.
Just tell us briefly what your role is as the Chief Disciplinary Officer.
wax ñu rek ci tënka CDO boobu lan la liggéeyam omba.
liggéeyam mu ngi omba all the disciplinary force in the Gambia Police Force. My head.
The role is to take charge of all disciplinary matters within the Gambia Police Force. And I am the head of that unit.
My apologies. And where are you based?
yow fan nga toog sa liggéey fan la nekk fi mu nekk nii.
At headquarters in Banjul.
I am at the headquarters in Banjul.
And who do you report to?
yow kan mooy sa njiit jamono ji.
Are you under directly Inspector General of Police?
I am directly under the Inspector General of Police.
We will come back to some of the professional experience that you've had within the Gambia Police Force. But for now, I would like you to tell me what your educational background is.
dinañ ñëwaat ci li nga xam ne moo di sa wàlli liggéey yëpp liggéey yi nga jaar fii ci biir réew mi ci ron Gambia Police Force waaye nag jamono ji moom dama bëgg rek nga wax ma yow sa wàlli njàng fan la toll.
Man suma wàllu jàng mooy jànguma English waaye jàng na Arabic.
My educational status is that I did not learn English, but I learned Arabic.
And can you tell us where you learned Arabic and what periods?
di ñu mun a wax fan nga jàngee arab ak ci yan jamono nga ko jànga.
In Senegal.
In Senegal.
Can you tell me where in Senegal?
fan ci Sénégal.
Futa.
In a village.
Matam.
In a place called Matam.
Do you remember the year you went to Senegal to learn Arabic?
fàttaliku nga at bi nga demee Sénégal pour jàng fa arab.
Or perhaps how old you were?
wala jamono jooju sax ñaata at nga toll woon.
maa ngi nekk xale around 10, 11 yooyu noonu.
I was a child around 10 or 11 years.
And how long did you spend in Senegal?
ci yan àpp nga toog Sénégal foofu.
maa ngi foofu to 1976 to 78.
I was there from 1976 up to 1978.
So although you're not literate in English, you are educated in Arabic.
bon mel ni comme jànguloo angale moom ci arab nga jànga.
Please turn on your microphone. Just leave it on.
sa microphone bi mën nga koo bàyyi noonu mu taal rek bu ko feet.
Madam Interpreter, can you just repeat the last thing you said so he can respond?
sa microphone bi liñ bëgg a xam mooy sa microphone bi bu ko fay nga bàyyi ko noonu muy taal.
I had just said that I believe that he's not literate in English, but he is educated in Arabic.
mu ne lim gëm mooy ne yow comme jànguloo angale bon nag jàng nga li nga xam ne moo di arabic.
Wow.
Yes.
Can we look at your professional background now? Tell us when you enlisted into the Gambia Police Force.
léegi nag ñu seet ci sa mbiri liggéey mun nga ñoo wax kañ nga commencé di liggéey ci Gambia Police Force.
1979.
In 1979.
Tell us how you did your recruitment training and how you progressed through the ranks after that.
léegi nag da dig ñu mun a wax kañ nga commencé biñ laa jàngal mbiri police ak ba nga ca bàyyeekoo fan nga jaar ci wàlli maxaama yi nga xam ne moom nga fa gàddu woon.
I passed out in 1979.
When I passed out in 1979,
Please go on.
eggali.
And I was best recruit Nitanama as a junior trainer instructor at the training school in Fajar Depot.
I was the best recruit, and so I was selected as the junior instruction trainer at the training school in Fajara.
Before you continue, kindly tell us what unit of the police force you were enlisted with at that point.
balaa ngaa eggali bi nga jeexalee njàngi police moomu ci ban bunta lañ la yóbbu woon ci wàlli police bi.
In my police training school.
I was taken to the police training school.
What I meant was the particular unit of the Gambia Police Force.
ci ban fànn ci biir Gambia Police Force bi ci ban fànn la sa liggéey féetee woon.
What was the name of the force at the time that you enlisted?
Field Force.
Okay, very well. That's what I wanted to
The field force.
get from you.
loolu laa bëggoon mu génnee ci yow.
And after you were recruited into the field force, what rank did you have at that point?
gannaaw boo jeexalee field force bi nag ban ma xaama nga amee woon jamono jooju.
Police constable.
I was a police constable.
And consequently, you said you were a training instructor. Is that correct?
ca jamono yi tamit amoon na yaa ngi nekkoon di jàngale ci wàllu police bi loolu dëgg la.
Wow.
Yes.
And where were you posted?
léegi fan lañ la yóbbu woon pour ngay faa liggéey.
maa ngi under the senior instructor at the training school pour jànga jaay di training gars yi.
I was under the instructors helping to train at the training school.
Kindly tell me what the role and responsibilities of the field force were at that time.
jamono jooju field force bi lan mooy woon seen liggéey.
Field force bi seen liggéey time boobu mu ñoo nooy backup for the police general duties as armed unit ci biir Gambia police force and in those days.
The field force in those days was the backup to the police. As the armed wing of the police, they were the backup in those days.
Did they have similar functions to, say, the police intervention unit now?
ndax jamono jooju ñoom mën nañu wax ne seen liggéey ak liggéey police intervention unit bi léegi benn la.
yëpp benn la.
They are all the same.
And they were based at the depot?
te ñu ngi nekkoon depot.
Yes, ma'am.
At the Fajara barracks now?
Yes, ma'am.
léegi muy Fajara barracks.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, please, let's move on and just tell us, after you became a training instructor, what happened next? Where did you go to next?
léegi ñu eggali gannaaw boo xamee ne nekkoon nga di jàngale foofu ci police bi gannaaw loolu lan moo xew.
gannaaw loolu foofu lañ ma ji transfer to Amori as assistant Amora.
After there, I was transferred to the armory as an assistant armorer.
I know that you're not very good with the dates of the different positions that you held, but just guide us roughly on what periods or perhaps how long you spent in a particular rank before you moved on. So from training instructor, how long did it take before you got to assistant armorer? Or if you can remember the specific date, just let us know.
xam naa ne ña doo dee mun a fàttaliku bés bi susta waaye soo ñu munee wax rek gannaaw boo jeexalee jàngale ci police bi bañ dem def la assistant armorer diir boobu ci ban diir la ak ci yan jamono la woon.
boobu mu ngi nekk si 80s la.
That was in the 80s.
Please move on and just tell us all the different positions you held and at what dates.
léegi mun ngaa àggali nga wax ñu yan façon yi maxaama nga amee woon ak ci yan bés ak yan weer ak yan at la toll woon.
waaw bi ma demee Amora ma steen foofu 3 years ñu transfer ma.
When I was moved as an armorer, I spent there about 3 years, and then I was transferred
to unit bu ñu wax mobile gendarmerie at the time ñu ngi am des confederation.
to a unit called the Mobile Gendarmerie. That was the time of the Confederation.
What confederation are you referring to?
ban confederation nga wax ni.
Confederation mooy time bi ku koy Samba Sagne ñëw pour invade Gambia Sénégalais yi ñëw ñu join ak Sénégal government Gambia government ñi def confederation.
The Confederation is the time when Kukoy Samba Sanyang invaded the Gambia, and the Senegalese government came and joined with the Gambia and formed a confederation.
Do you remember when the confederation was?
mun ngaa fàttaliku confederation boobu kañ la woon.
boobu tam mu ngi si 90s la 95 90 I cannot remember mun ma fàttaliku date bi waaye ci 80s or 90s la.
I cannot recall the date, but it's either the 80s or the 90s.
That's fine. Let's just move on to your next position after that.
waa loolu baax na léegi nañ eggali gannaaw maxaama boobu ban maxaama nga yore waat.
Then maa ngi mobile gendarmerie for 2 years. 3 years you know ñu move out again to security corps.
I was at the Mobile Gendarmerie for between 2 and 3 years, and then I was moved to the Mobile Corps.
I believe he said security
Security
corps.
corps.
Security Corps.
And where did you move on to after that? And don't forget to tell us what ranks you held as you were moved into those different positions.
gannaaw boobu nag fan lañ lay yóbbu te bul fàtte nag pour wax ñu jamono juñ la toxalee rek ci yan maxaama nga daan toll.
Waaw promote nañu ma sergeant.
Yes, I was promoted to the rank of a sergeant.
And I'm staff sergeant.
Then I got a staff sergeant.
And when you were sergeant, what position did you hold?
bi nga nekkee sergeant boobu ci yan anam yan maxaama nga daan yore foofu.
Boobu maa ngi nekkoon assistant Amora.
At that time, I was the assistant armorer.
And when you went to the mobile gendarmerie, what rank did you hold there?
bi nga demee ci mobile gendarmerie ban maxaama nga fa yore woon.
Boobu maa ngi ñu ma promote staff sergeant.
At that time, I was promoted to the rank of a staff sergeant.
What about the security corps? What rank did you hold when you were there?
bi nga nekkee ci bi nga wax security corps bi boobu moom ban maxaama nga fa yore woon.
Maa ngi amoon rank of inspector.
At that time, I was having the rank of an inspector.
And is it correct that whilst you held all of these different positions in the gendarmerie, you were still posted at the depot at the Fajara barracks?
ndax mun nañoo wax ne bi nga amee maxaama yëpp ci gendarmerie bi yaa ngi nekkoon ci dépôt bi fa nga daan liggéey.
Waaw foofu laa dee liggéey.
Yes, that was where I worked from.
After you occupied the position of security corps, tell us how you moved on after that.
gannaaw bu ñu la defee nag li ñoo wax security corps wax ñu nag ci ba nga fa jógee ci lan nga nekkoon.
time boobu lañu indi amalgamation TSG ak gendarmerie tas na time boobu gendarmerie bi dafa tas ñu indi TSG ñun tam ñi def amalgamation bi ñu populise ñu now no gendarmerie ñu ne no gendarmerie existe now léegi police la TSG ñoo war a dem ñu transfert ñu dañuy transfert ñu def ko ñaari groupe benn transfert bi génn ñi dem army man ma fall on the side of the police force.
That time, there was a separation of the TSG from the gendarmerie. There was no gendarmerie, and then there was an amalgamation. Some went to the police, and that was how I got to the police.
Just kindly continue and just tell us the other positions you occupied after that. And you can actually, complete what you're going to say. You don't have to wait for follow-up questions. And at any point I need to intervene, I'll do so. But just keep in mind that interpretation is going on in the background, so take your statements slowly. Thank you.
Léegi mun ngaa eggali li nga bëgg a wax yëpp bu ma la laajul sax mun ngaa eggali waaye man jamono joo xamee ne rek bëgg naa laa gàttandu pour laaj la dinaa la ko laaj te nag na nga fàttaliku ne am na ku la làppatool am na ñuy làppatoo ci gannaaw bu ko defee bu sa kàddu yu gudda.
Thank you. Jërëjëf.
Thank you.
So bu ñu transfert ñu def amalgamation bi man ma fall on the side of the police.
When I was transferred and the amalgamation was made, and I went to the side of the police,
then ñu post ma headquarters Banjul police station.
then I was posted to the headquarters at the Banjul police station.
After the ma jógee Banjul police station,
When I left the Banjul police station,
ma ñëw to PIU as the RSM.
I went to the PIU as the RSM.
Did you have any particular position at the Banjul police station?
bi nga nekkee Banjul police station ndax am na benn maxaama boo xam ne yaa ngi ko fa yore woon.
Boobu dañu ma ne ma ñëw toog xaar suma posting bi mu génn.
No, I was asked to come and wait for my postings until it was published.
Please continue, tell us after you were posted at the PIU as RSM, what other position did you occupy?
léegi jekkalil biñ la indee PIU nga nekk fa RSM yeneen maxaama nga fa amee woon.
Boobu maa ngi nekk chief inspector.
At that time, I was the chief inspector.
ma jógee PIU ñu posaat ma Banjul headquarters as the chief of the RSM.
I left the PIU, was posted back to Banjul headquarters, and was made the chief of the RSM.
When was this? What period was it?
loolu kañ la woon yan jamono la woon.
boobu dana nekk 1996 yooyu 97.
That would be around 1996 or 1997, around about that time.
Do you wish to say 1997 or 2007?
danga bëgg a wax 1997 wala 2007.
Mistake na 2007.
I made a mistake.
2006.
I made a mistake. It was 2006.
So in between 2006 to 2007.
kon dafa mel ni diggante 2006 ak 2007 la woon.
Wow.
Yes.
You were posted as RSM in Banjul.
ci lañ la yóbbu Banjul def la fa RSM.
Wow.
Yes.
And how long did you occupy that position?
maxaama boobu nag ban diir nga ko yore woon.
Since boobu ba léegi maa ngi foofu.
I was there since then up till now.
And I believe you said you're no longer RSM, but CDO. But just clarify whether the positions are essentially the same, the position of RSM and the position of CDO, or perhaps tell us what differences there are.
waaw wax nga ñu ne nekkaatuloo RSM CDO nga léegi dañ bëgg nga waxal ñu rek uute bi ak ci liggéey RSM ak liggéey CDO lan mooy uute bi wala ndax benn la.
benn la waaye dafa am boppa.
They are the same, but there's a head.
man maay nekk seen njiit regional level ci yëpp am nañu RSM ñoo xam ne ñu ngi fa des answerable directors.
I am their head. All the regions have their RSMs who are answerable to me.
Thank you. So in 2009, were you RSM at the Banjul Police Headquarters?
jërëjëf atum 2009 ndax yaa ngi nekkoon RSM ci Banjul Police Headquarters bi.
Wow.
Yes.
I would just like you to tell me briefly what your role as RSM at the police headquarters was. At that time, some of the duties that you would normally do, your roles and responsibilities.
dama bëgg rek nga waxal ma ci tënka li nga xam ne mooy woon sa liggéey comme yaa nekkoon RSM foofu lan mooy sa liggéey ak lan mooy sa taxawaay ci jamono juju.
waaw bi ma nekkee headquarters as the RSM, my responsible the discipline of the men.
When I was the RSM at the headquarters, I was responsible for the discipline of the men.
And punctuality on work.
And punctuality to work also.
And decent.
And decency.
And obedience.
And obedience.
So lolu mo sama responsibility.
Those were my responsibilities.
And how would you normally carry out those responsibilities?
waaw léegi naka nga daan defee liggéey yooyu noonu.
Give us some examples.
jox ñu ci misaal.
Sample bi mooy dañu am rules bi nga xam ne.
An example is that we had rules which
time liggéey
stipulated the time to report to work.
ku nekk xam na time bi nga war a liggéey da nga ñëw liggéey in time nga sol lu set nga ñëw in time nga appear in time.
Each one knows what time to report to work, how to dress up well, and to report to work on time and dressed properly.
As RSM, did you carry out any activities?
comme ni nga nekkee RSM nag ndax am na ay yëngu-yëngu yoo xam ne di nga ko daan def.
waaw yëngu-yëngu yi def de am léegi crowd control.
Yes, there were other responsibilities. Once in a while, there were crowd control responsibilities.
Ak room linings.
And room linings.
Official function daal su ñëwee daal ci man la day ñëw ma mun a seen men si pour ñu dem daal mission.
Whatever official duty came or function, I had to detail men who would go and carry out that function.
These would be special occasions, of course, but I would like you to tell me what your daily activities, for example, would be.
xëj na yi nga wax ni dafa nekk ne bu fekkee ne xew-xew am na waaye dama bëgg nga waxal ma bur bu set bés bu nekk lan moo dee nekk sa liggéey.
su ma liggéeyee bor bu set from Monday to Friday.
My daily work from Monday to Friday.
7:45 dañu ma blow whistle.
At 7:45, I will blow the whistle.
Ku nekk ñëw si suuf.
Everyone comes downstairs.
Boobu la ñu wax morning parade. Master parade.
That is what we call the morning master parade.
Foofu la ñu mën a assess kuy liggéey ak ku dul liggéey.
And that is where we assess who is present for work and who is not.
Su loolu amee.
After that happens,
junior officers ak senior officers yi yëpp ñoo dee wàcca.
the junior officers and the senior officers, all of them go down.
Senior officers yi mooy from chief superintendent rank bi mu amee nii ba si suuf cadet ace bi yëpp danañ wàcca falling.
Senior officers is chief superintendent, this rank that I am having, up to cadet officer.
ñoom yëpp dañ dee wàcca.
All of them will climb down.
Under my command and my supervision.
And they were under my command and supervision.
Then from there, def suñ briefing.
And then from there, we will have our briefings.
So among any problem or any doubt,
if we had any problems or any doubts,
or any no mission or no information to the high table, high command,
or if there was any mission or no information to give to the high command,
then I decide to act, decide to fall out, go back to your offices until later.
Then I will make the decision to ask them to fall out and to return to their offices and to wait for the instructions. That was the way I operated.
I just want to go over some details relating to the morning master parade.
dama bëgg a ñëwaat rek ci li nga xam ne mooy rangsalu bi nga xam ne di ngeen ko dee faral di def bu subaa ñëpp taxaw.
You would be responsible, or perhaps you would give the order for the men to fall in every morning. Is that correct?
yow yaay joxe ndigal bi pour ñëpp dajaloo benn place noonu la.
It's true.
And the parade itself, you would be the one who would supervise it and be in charge of the men during the parade.
te ci jamono boobu tam yow yaay ki koo jiite te yaay joxe ndigal.
It's true.
You also said that apart from regulating issues of punctuality and decency during the parade, any important information or communication from the top command would be disseminated during that parade. Is that correct?
wax ngay tamit ne lu uutee pour gis ne ku ci nekk ñëw na ci waxtu bi mu war a ñëwee ak ni mu war a soloo na noonu lu uutee ak loolu rek tamit xibaar boo xam ne bàyyeekoo na ci kilifa yi nekk ci kaw bu fekkee ne war nga leen koo eggali yow yaa leen koo eggali noonu la.
waaw dëgg la.
Yes, it's true.
At the end of the parade, would you be the one to give the order to fall out as well?
boo leen ci paree nag yow tamit yaay joxe ndigal nag pour ñu tasaaroo.
Wow.
Yes.
Was it usual, perhaps, or before we go to that, can you tell me who your direct supervisor was?
di nga mun a wax yow kan mooy woon sa njiit ci kan nga daan uyu jëlee ndigal.
xam nga suma njiit foofu dañuy bari banxaas bi dafa rëy.
Well, you know, my head there, the fact is that the branches are many.
dama am question ba ma fàtte ko wax waaye dana ko wax léegi because léegi mun naa foo leen gars yi ko benn commissioner wàcca.
There is something I had forgotten to say, which I will say now, because sometimes, even when I call for the falling, sometimes a commissioner will come down.
kooku moom moom upper rank.
And usually he is higher in rank than I am.
kooku su ñëwee su defee briefing am ba pare dafay dem then from there mu ne ma fall out and men si ma fall out.
If he comes and conducts a briefing and leaves, he will ask me to fall out the men, and then I will proceed to fall out the men.
su demee ba xam ne kenn si ñoom ñëw down.
If he realizes that none of them has come down,
léegi maa in charge maa si ñoom yëpp te man maa amee discipline bi maa di take over.
and because I see know the rest of them, I am in charge of discipline. I am usually the one that takes over.
noonu la ñu tëddal noonu la mbir mi tëddee.
That was the way things were.
Okay, thank you for that information. Can you tell me who your direct supervisor was?
jërëjëf ci xibaar bi léegi nag di ñu mun a wax nag yow kan mooy woon sa supervisor ci ron kan nga nekkoon.
du doon kan la nekk.
waaw.
ba ngi ron on the inspector general of police.
I was under the Inspector General of Police.
You reported directly to him?
mel ni moom daal ci kawam nga toppoon ci moom rek ngaa dee uyu.
dafa depend mun naa report ko si député inspector general of police mun naa report si AIG admin.
It depends. I could report to the Deputy Inspector General of Police, or I could report to the AIG administration.
Was it usual for the Inspector General of Police to give you direct orders?
Ndax noonu la war a faral di amee pour inspecteur général bi ki jiite police yi moom mu jox la ndigal bu bàyyeekoo ci moom.
Anyway, normally, instruction official mission la.
Anyway, what we used to do is that if the instruction is an official mission,
Man always the memo, is passed through to the channel right command watches man.
there's a memo that used to pass through the right channel, which comes down to me,
Then my dog act on that orders.
and then I will act upon those orders.
Mr. Colley, just listen to my questions very carefully. I asked you a very direct question. Is it possible for the IGP to give you a direct order which you had to comply with?
Déglu li ma la laaj bu baax li ma laajte mooy ndax jaadu na pour IG bi inspecteur général bu police bi ci jiite police yëpp moom mu jox leen ndigal boo xam ne dafa jógee ci moom rek ñëw ci yow direct.
Wow, they am.
Yes, it usually happens.
Okay, thank you. I would also like to go to your role as discipline, your role on discipline rather of the men. How would you normally carry out that role?
léegi ñu ñëw nag ci bu ñëwee ci mbiri yar ñooñu nga xam ne ñoo di police yooyu yar googu moom naka nga ko dee faral di defee.
Yar bi mooy su fekkee ne da nga late.
The discipline is that, for instance, if you came late,
Because lu tax ñu ne la discipline bi mooy su discipline amul kon kenn du ñëw liggéey si.
well, the reason why it is said discipline is because when there is no discipline, no one will come to work.
Okay, ni ñu ko dee doxalee mooy su fekkee ne ñëw nga late nga explain lu tax nga late is genuine.
The way we used to do it is that if you came late and you explained and we found out that your explanation was genuine,
Then lu ñu mën a def foofu rek mooy woon la rek bu mu amati.
then the only thing we can do at that point is only to warn you so that it doesn't happen again.
ñu woon la ne nga try nga adjust time nga ñëw liggéey in time.
We warn you to try and make adjustments on your time so that you are able to report to work on time.
soo ko defee benn.
If you did that once
ñaar.
or twice,
Charge.
you will be charged.
Who would normally charge men?
kan moo dee faral di def charge boobu nga wax.
dafa am suñ standing order mu ngi fa disciplinary code.
There is our standing order, a disciplinary code of the Gambia Police Force.
si boobu leen di sukkandiku.
That is where we rely on.
Can you tell me the person who would normally charge men for disciplinary offenses?
léegi la di ñu mun a wax képp koo xam ne war ngeen koo yar war ngeen koo daan kan moo dee faral di def yar boobu noonu.
ok yar bi dafa am ñaari banxaas both side laa di nekk léegi-léegi man su nekkee suma side la man maa la check.
There are two sides to the discipline. Sometimes, if it falls on the one side, I am the one who personally takes care of the discipline.
su fekkee man maa la check man maa la war a charge man la
If
check.
I happen to be the one that checked you, then I will personally go ahead with the charge.
su fekkee ne benn officer moo check keneen somewhere else te offend ko mu charge ko ci def ko indi si man.
Then, if it is another officer who happens to do the check-in and charges a particular officer, normally that officer will be brought to me.
en ñu indi file bi sagul file bi den ma push ko si officer command mu jël all the room.
Then they will bring the scheduled file, and then I will push it to the officer commanding.
So whatever the case, Mr. Colley, whether or not you personally charge the person, the information would come through you. You would be aware of disciplinary offenses against the men.
bon dafa mel ni nu mun a demee rek Mr. Colley bu fekkee ne am na keneen sax koo xam ne moom moo def charge boobu wala moo def yar boobu dafa war a wàcc si ci sa yow yaay def charge bi nga xam ne moom nga war a def borom.
waaw loolu léegi-léegi daf dee depend ne su ma ko yégee léegi-léegi du ma ko dee yég.
That depends also. Sometimes when I'm aware, but other times also I am not aware.
Since discipline is one of your functions as RSM, what would be the normal protocol should you be in the picture?
léegi comme que yow mbiri yar bi moom ci sa loxo la tegu yow mi nga xam ne yaay RSM bi léegi nag ci naka nga ko dee jaarale ci yan anam nga dee jaarale mbiri yar googu noonu.
yar bi nii la ko waxee mooy su fekkee ne nit ki offense na nit daf ko charge su ko charge def di indi file bi si man.
This is the way I am telling you the whole disciplinary activity was done. If someone offends another person and he gets charged, that person's file is usually brought to me.
So under usual circumstances, you would be aware?
Bon daal ni mu waral di demee daal bon yow saa yu nekk da nga ko war di yëg.
Yes, I should be aware.
You have also said that there are circumstances in which you are normally not aware, is that correct?
wax nga itamit ne léegi-léegi nag nay am jamono yoo xam ne doo ko dee yëg noonu la.
Regional level.
Just answer my question before you clarify.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, please continue.
On the regional level,
from the regional level, I would not be aware of what is happening there. Those that would be aware would usually be the junior RSMs who were responsible for those specific areas.
But within headquarters level,
whosoever is charged would come to me. The Banjul division, whoever is charged there, when I'm informed, I will tell my assistant to go to the holding room. And I'm used to aware of all of it.
So at the headquarters in Banjul, you would be aware?
Wow.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Can you also tell us the way in which instructions from the command are disseminated to the men? You've already mentioned the fact that sometimes it can be through the parade. Is that correct?
léegi na di ñu mun a wax na bu fekkee ne am na xibaar boo xam ne bàyyeekoo na ca njiit ya ca kaw naka laa eggee ca ñi nga xam ne ñooy police yi féetee suuf wax nga ñu ne léegi-léeg dafa jaar ci jamono ji nga xam ne ñu ngi taxawaay suba boobu noonu.
Wow, loolu def de am.
Yes, that used to happen.
Nu de amee moyen su fekkee ne kenn si ñoom wàccut.
And the way it used to happen is that if none of them came down,
but normally su ma si ñëw si suñu wàccee ñoom si ñuy ak message bi.
But normally if my seniors came down and they came along with the message,
man su ma defee suma all activity ba ma pare.
After doing all of my activities,
ma report si moom.
I will report to him.
Moom senior man bi dana joxe message foofu ne lii ak lii la mu war a xew lii ak lii la ñu war a ngeen def ko.
And then thereafter, the senior man on the ground will give the message and say, this and this is what is happening, or this is what we want you to do.
And message bi mu ñëw si man tam gina leen dooleel mu am.
Then the message also comes to me, and then I will reinforce it.
Just in brief, I would just like to confirm. So in a sense, you are the liaison between the command and the men.
ci tënk rek pour leeral bon dafa mel ni yow yaa nekk ci diggante kilifa ya ca kaw ak yeneen ñi nga xam ne ñu la féete suuf.
Wow.
Yes.
It is also correct that you are the one who normally enforces, or you make sure that orders from the command are enforced through the men.
te yow tamit yow yaay ki nga xam ne di nga fexe ba gis ne ndigal wala kàddu yooyu bàyyeekoo ci kilifa ya ca kaw dina dox ci ñi nga xam ne ñoo féetee suuf.
Wow.
Yes.
Right. Mr. Colley, thank you. We just wanted to understand your role as RSM during that period. And it is correct that you had this role in 2009.
waaw Mr. Colley jërëjëf dañ bëggoon a leeral rek ne yow li nga xam ne mooy woon sa liggéey yow yaa amee woon liggéey boobu jamono ji nga xam ne mu ngi woon ci atum 2009 bi nga nekkee RSM foofu. dañ bëggoon a xam sa liggéey lan la ëmb digga.
Wow.
Yes.
Did anything unusual happen in that year at the police headquarters in Banjul?
ci atum 2009 boobu noonu ndax am na dara loo xam ne xew na fa loo xam ne daal daanut faral di xew ci police headquarters bi foofu.
Wow, xew na.
Yes, something happened.
Just in brief, tell us what happened.
ci tënk rek wax ñu lan moo xewoon.
2009 lu fa xewoon mooy.
In 2009, what happened was.
I'm sorry, Mr. Colley, to interrupt, but perhaps before you start on the unusual event, just tell us how your morning went. I mean, what did you do that particular morning, and then you can go into the event that actually happened. Thank you.
waaw ma jégalu Mr. Colley balaa ñu dugg ci la nga xam ne moo xewoon waxal ñu yow suba boobu ba nga eggee lan moo xewoon ci yow ci sa wàllu liggéey lan xew lan moo fa xew balaa ñoo ñëw ci xew-xew bi.
2009 si suba soosu.
That morning in the year 2009.
man de ma xëy def suma function as expected falling Mensi briefland.
I did my functions as expected, falling the men, briefed them.
waaye jëluma o dégguma benn information lu war a xew si bis boobu noonu.
But I did not have any information about what was to happen on that day.
ma foolaaw leen ma leen dem continuer seen normal duty.
I followed them out and asked them to go on and continue with their normal duties.
loolu la def ci suba soosu.
That was what I did that morning.
Do you recall the dates and the time of that particular event?
fàttaleku nga ban bés la woon ak waxtu wi xew-xew boobu amoon.
wax dëgg yàgg na waaye duma mën a fàttaleku bis bi.
To be honest, it's been a long time and I cannot recall the date.
Please go on and tell us what happened.
léegi eggaleel wax ñu lan a xew.
bis boobu daal.
That day,
dañuy xëy.
when we got to work, after we did everything and each one of us got into their respective offices, between 10, 11 and 12, some individuals came in. It was a group. They said they were marabouts. They were dressed in red. They had horns. They had cow tails. They had mirrors sewn onto their caps. They also had on top added also bits of cow tail on their hats. And they were dressed in red. If you are not very strong in heart, you'll be scared and you probably will jump out of the window. Later, while I was still in my office, I had talk going in and coming out, and I heard that. And they said to me, RSM, you are here seated, and the whole place is in confusion. And I asked them, what's going on? They said to me, there are marabouts dressed in red going from office to office with the former IG and Sabaji. And other soldiers, some of them were dressed in mufti, while others were dressed in their military uniforms. When I heard that, I came out. I said to myself, well, if anyone should enter my house, I must come out and get to know who the person is. And I followed them.
Office to office.
And from office to office,
from first floor.
When they left from the first floor,
second floor.
I met up with them at the second floor.
We continued them around all offices.
And we continued going around the whole of the offices.
By office bring them.
But in each office that we went to, there was something that they had. They had mirrors. They had horns. When they come into your office, you will stand up. They will go around the four corners of the office with their mirrors and their horns. When they find nothing, they will go out. And then they will go to the next office. That was the way they went around and around. Until I personally we got to my office. I said to them, come in. Check.
You just said
They took their mirror. They checked. They did not find anything. I thought in my mind, I am with God and I am clean.
You continue them round.
They continued going round until they completed going around. There were some people that were pointed at. But before I get to that stage, after the rounds, the IG asked me to blow the whistle, and I blew the whistle for a parade,
for identification.
So that they'll be able to pinpoint who have been identified. When we came down, we fall in the men.
Mr. Colley, I'm sorry to interrupt you again. Before we go into the parade, can I ask you some follow-up questions from the testimony you've just given? You mentioned that a group of people came into the police headquarters and they were dressed in red.
Mr. Colley jégal ma ci li ma la dog waaye balaa ñoo eggal rek nga ne dafa amoon ay kuréeli nit yoo xam ne ñu ngi fa ñëwoon sol ay yére yu xonqa.
Yes, it's true.
You mentioned that their red attire was decorated with cowrie shells, mirrors and horns.
Nga ne te seen yére yi ñu ngi ci defoon ay petaaw ay seetu ak ay génne nag. Beijing.
Wow.
You also mentioned that they had cow tails, which they held in their hands. Is that correct?
Wow.
You mentioned that they came with others, military officers as well as plainclothes officers.
Wow.
Did you recognize any of these people that they were with?
There was only one individual I knew.
And who is that?
He was Solo Jiba.
Are you sure about the name?
I don't know them.
Let's just go back. My apologies.
I did not know their names.
You mentioned a Solo Jiba.
He was the only one I could recognize amongst the group that came in there.
Can you tell us who he was?
He was a soldier.
Do you know which unit of the army he was in?
I think he was from the State House.
Was he part of the State Guard at the State House?
State House.
Yes, I think he would be from there.
Where was he from?
Solo.
You mean Solo? I do not know where he hailed from.
And how did you know him?
I got to know him through the occasions. When there is a program, you will hear people calling him Solo, Solo, Solo.
And why was his name being called all the time in programs?
I used to witness him to be present there, and I think he was very close to Yaya Jammeh.
Do you know the nature of their relationship?
No, I don't know that.
Please repeat your answer. I was consulting with.
No, I don't know it. I don't know it.
Are you referring to Solo Jiba or Solo Bojang?
Ki nga wax noonu solo bi solo jiba la wala solo bojang?
Solo Bojang. It's Solo Bojang.
It's
Solo Jiba. Man sante bi la xamul fate dal.
I think
Sante bi mun mako té way solo la solo.
I have forgotten the surname.
Jiba o Bojang.
I cannot recall.
Solo Jiba.
I know the name is Solo, but I'm not sure now whether it's Jiba or Bojang.
All right, we'll take that. His name is Solo, but you're just not too sure about the surname.
Yeah.
Wa dinañ ko jëlé dal ne solo la tudda xamuloo dal santa bi mo la orut.
Wow.
Yes.
These men who were dressed in red, how many of them were there?
Ñi nga xamne nak ñoom ñoo solo won ak yére yu xonxa yoy ñaata lañ won?
Ñom dem nañ be 6. Juroom ben.
They were up to 6.
Did they appear to have someone leading them?
Ndax am na kenn ni ngi leen gisee noonu amoon na kenn koo xam ne moo leen jiite woon.
Am na ko ma day gis always ñu duggé ci office bi mo dañ jëkay dugga moy dafa jol ponkal.
Yes, there is one that I noticed was always leading them when they were going into the office, and he was tall and hefty.
And the others, how would you describe them?
Ñeneen ñi nag naka nga mën a waxee seen melokaan.
Ñeneen ni medium size la gudda ga M gata.
Some of them were medium sized, not very tall, not very heavily built.
Be pare dañ am yaram.
But also they were heavily built.
Did you know where they were from?
Xam nga ñooñu fan lañ bàyyeekoo.
Musuma xam ni sa fan lañ bàyyeekoo.
I have never known where they came from.
And as you went with them from office to office, did you hear them say anything?
Bi nga àndaa ñoom ñuy dugga ci office di génn dugga ci beneen office ndax yaa ngi doon dégga liñ doon wax am na dara luñ doon wax loo dégga.
Ñoom kay liñ dee dégga because suñ duggee ci office bi ñun duñ mën a dugga waaye seen lakka bi moom soose la ak lifin olof dama ko dee dégga ñu ngi lakka ci soose ak no ak joola sorry sax soose ak joola.
When they go into the office, we never go with them. But when they are speaking, they used to speak in Mandinka and Jola.
Did they appear to be local?
Nuru nañ la ñoo xam ne waa fii lañ.
Man li ma leen riidee daal man di foog naa ñi li si mooy xam-xam ak li ma xalaat nuroo ñu waa Gambia.
According to the way I observed them, I don't think that they were Gambian.
And on this particular day, were you expecting any visitors at the headquarters?
Ci bés boobu noonu ndax yow yaa ngi doon séntu ñan ñoo xam ne ñu waroon nañoo ñëw foofu ci headquarters.
Man yëguma musuma expecté gan dafa war a ñëw foofu bis boobu sax.
I was not expecting any visitor on that day.
And you didn't receive any information about that?
Jotuloo tamit benn xibaar bu aju ci loolu.
Kenn waxoon ma dara.
No one told me anything.
Did they, the way they were dressed and the manner in which they were going about, did they look like individuals who had any business at the police headquarters?
Ci ni nga xam ne noonu lañ solo woon ak ci anam yi nga xam ne moom lañ doon jëfee ndax nuru nañ kenn koo xam ne am na benn soxla bu moo war a def si foofu ci police headquarters bi.
Waaw soo ko seetee nga sega ko da nga xam ne lii am na lu ñu uti.
If you look at things and you see things properly, you will be able to tell that these people are out looking for something.
And do you know what they were looking for?
Ndax xam nga ñoom lan lañ doon ut?
Déet xawma de.
No, I don't know.
You also mentioned that when they went into the offices, they were using their mirrors, pointing them at corners of the room, and they appear to be looking for something.
Wax ngay tamit ne bu fekkee ne dugg nañ ci biir office yi dañoo jël seen seetu yi di ko joxoñ ci li nga xam ne moo di ruxa yi nekk ci biir office bi loolu wane na dafa am dara loo xam ne moom lañ doon seet.
You also mentioned that they went into your office and you allowed them in and asked them to look, and they looked, and you said they did not find anything.
Wax ngay tamit ne ñëw nañ sa office yow ci sa boppa nga bàyyi leen ñu dugga seet li ñoo seet waaye gisuñ dara luñ doon seet foofu.
It is true.
It would appear that you had some indication as to what they were looking for.
Bon dafa mel ni bon yow am nga xalaat wala xalaat nga loo xam ne daal ñoom loolu lañ doon seet xam nga ko. ndax xam nga liñ doon seet
ñoom borom red
The people dressed in red.
am nga foofu mun naa ko tontu foofu because ñu ne
I knew
man
I can answer there because they said that I
communicate ak ñoom directly
did not communicate with them directly.
waaye information bi ma dégga
But by the information that I got to hear
ci ñoo xam ne ñoom dégga nañ ko
from those that heard it,
ñu ne ma ñii de ñu ngi ñëw check office yi waaye ñu ngi seet pour domo yi
they said these people are coming to inspect the offices, but they are looking out for witches.
loolu dégga naa ko
That I heard.
So it was through these instruments that they were using that they were actually looking for these witches or wizards.
bon mu ngi mel ni ñoom jumtuwaay yi nga xam ne moom lañ amee woon noonu di ko seetee dañ ci doon seet ndax dañ ci gis ay duma
waaw
Yes.
Please tell us what happened as you went into the different offices with them.
léegi nag wax ñu bi ngeen di àndaa ñoom di dugg ci office yi di génn dugg ci weneen office lan a xew
During this time, let me just ask a follow-up question. During this time, did they identify any of these witches or wizards that they were looking for?
jamono jooju ngeen doon wër ci biir office yi ndax tollu woon ngeen benn jamono joo xam ne ñoom feeñal nañ fa ay duma
boobu xamuñ dara
At that time, we were not aware of anything.
waxamuñ dara
They have not said anything yet.
So they did not select anybody at that point.
bon mu ngi mel ni tànnuñ fa kenn daal feeñal ne mooy duma bi jamono jooju
déedéet
No.
You also mentioned that they came into the building with the IGP then and Sir Jesus Baji.
nga ne nag bi ñoo ñëw foofu dañ fa dugga ak ka nga xam ne moo nekkoon IGP Ensa Jesus Badji
waaw
Yes.
Ensa Baji, is he known by Jesus? Just confirm.
Ensa Badji ndax dañ ko xamee Jesus pour nga wéralal ñu ko rek
waaw
Yes.
Were there any other police officers with him?
àndoon na ak benn police
commande bi yëpp topp nañ ko
The whole command was behind him.
And what was the role of the IGP then?
IGP bi na jamono jooju moom lan moo ci woon taxawaayam
ànd ak gaa yi rek
Just to be with them.
I beg your pardon?
dafa ànd ak gaa yi
He was just going with them, along with them.
And did he allow them into the building and allow them into the offices?
ndax moom moo nangul na leen ñu dugg ci biir headquarters bi ak pare nag di dugg ci biir office yi
waaw
Yes.
So essentially they had his permission.
bon dafa mel ni daal moom moo leen jox ndigal bi moo leen jox yoon
waaw
Yes.
And how big is the police headquarters?
kër police yooyu noonu naka la toll woon headquarters bi nu mu toll woon
dafa rëy de
It's big.
3 decks
It had 3 decks.
And they went into each and every office.
te nag jamono jooju benn office bu nekk dugga nañ ci
waaw waaw
Yes, yes, indeed.
Let's move on to the parade. You mentioned that the IGP gave you instructions to call the men to fall in to a parade.
ñu wax nag ci ndaje bi nga xam ne moom la police yi daje woon nga ne IGP bi moo la jox ndigal pour nga dajale leen
waaw
Yes.
So this was the second parade you were holding on that day.
bon dafa mel ni bi moo ñaareel dajale boo xam ne dajale ngeen leen ci benn bés boobu
waaw
Yes.
And was this usual to have a parade very shortly after you had the first one?
ndax loolu dina dee faral di am nga dajale leen ba pare rek bu yàggul rek nga dajale waat leen dinay faral di am
dee am waaye du dafa nekk emergency
That usually happens, but only on emergencies.
So something very important would have had to happen to hold such a parade.
bon daal bu loolu amee dafa fekk ne am na lu am solo loo xam ne moo xew balaa ngeen a def loolu
waaw
Yes.
Tell us how you got the men together, how you assembled them, and what happened at the parade.
léegi wax ñu naka nga dajalee police yi ak lan moo fa xew ba nga leen dajalee
police yi man wisul la am wisul
I had a whistle.
su ma taxee si parade ground bi
If I stood at the parade ground,
suñ gisee wisul bi
and when they see the whistle,
suñu may gisee
and when they have seen me,
danay wàcca
they will come down.
dama buloo
Then I will blow,
fall in
for a falling,
ñëpp wàcca.
and all will climb down.
Junior ranks yi
The junior ranks
ñu fall inside.
will fall in on one side,
Senior officers
the senior officers
fall inside.
will fall in at the other side.
léegi kilifa yi
So the heads now
ñoo nekk ak gaay yi si digga ba.
will be in the middle.
And therefore, the normal formal formation that would normally happen during your parades was what took place during that particular parade that you called.
léegi dafa mel ni ngeen ko dee faral di defee boo leen dajalee suba bi ni ngeen dee dajaloo ci anam yooyu tamit noonu ngeen dajaloo waate.
waaw.
Yes.
And when you called in, when the men fell in, what happened next?
léegi nag biñ dajaloo noonu lan a xewaat gannaaw bi.
foofu la ñuy commencé di identify.
That was when they started to make the identifications.
Perhaps before we move on to the identification, tell us who was present at the parade in terms of the senior officers and any other people who would normally not be at the parade.
léegi balaa ñoo dem foofu sax di ñu mun a wax ñan ñoo fa daje woon ñoo xam ne ñoom soo leen dajalee police yi ñoom duñ fa daan faral di nekk.
mooy groupe yi ñëwoon.
That was the group that came.
am na ñu ñëw under plain clothes.
Some of them came dressed in plain clothes
ak solo.
and solo,
ak ñeneen ñu sol green.
and others that were dressed in green.
ñoom ñoo ànd ak gaay yi.
Those were the ones that came with them.
In terms of the senior command of the police, who was there?
ci wàlli ñi nga xam ne nag ñooy kilifa ci wàlli police bi ñana fa nekkoon.
bu mun ma remember kii ak kii waaye half bi yëpp ñu ngi foofu.
I cannot remember individually who were there, but half of them were all there.
Can you remember the IGP being there?
ndax fàttale ko nga ne IGP mu ngi fa woon.
waaw.
Yes.
And in terms of the other group, the visitors that had come to the police headquarters, you said they were present. Can you tell us what they were doing whilst the parade was taking its form?
léegi ñi nga xam ne ñoom ñoo ñëwoon foofu ci headquarters bi ci ay kilifa yi jamono ji nga dajalee police yi foofu ñoom lan lañ doon def.
mooy gan yi.
Yes, please. Perhaps let me clarify. Was there any particular activity that was going on as you guys were assembling the men? Were they conducting any particular activity?
léegi yow bi nga dajale police yi noonu ndax amoon na yeneen façon yu yëngu yoo xam ne ñoom ñu ngi ko doon def.
kay am na ñu mel ni de woy si suuf.
Yes.
ngay woy si suuf Joola.
There were some that were singing in low tones in the Joola language.
And do you know what kind of songs they were singing?
xam nga ban façon woy lañ doon woy.
woy boobu dafay leen dem de man xaw ma na xalaat de. day woy rek.
It's a dark song, and I cannot tell you what they were singing about, but they were singing.
Were there any instruments, musical instruments that were being played?
amoon na benn jumtuwaayu musique boo xam ne moom lañ fa doon tëgga.
su ma fàttewu de sabar foo na sabar am na.
If I don't forget, I think there was a drum.
Was the drum being beaten?
sabar gi dax ñu ngi ko doon tëgga.
ñoom gars yi ñu amee lifi nii green.
Those that were dressed in green.
Were they beating the drums?
ñoom ñu ngi doon tëgga sabar gi.
akay su ma fàttewu de foog naa waaw ñu ngi door sabar si suuf.
Yes, if I don't forget, they were drumming low tones though.
And whilst they were drumming, and you said they were also singing in Jola, you assembled the men, and after the men fell in, can you tell us who took charge of the parade? Was it you or was it somebody else?
waa léegi nga ne ñu ngi doon tëgga sabar yi di woy ay woy Joola yow tamit yaa nga fële di dajale ñi nga xam ne ñooy police yi léegi nag ñan ñooy woon ñi nga xam ne ñoo ngeen fa doon dajale.
fii lu mu wax bi ñu gars yi fooli ne ba pare.
After we fall in,
mu ne ku jël ku in charge parade bi léegi foofu laa ko bëgg a tontu.
léegi yow yaa ko jiite woon.
waaw ku jël parade bi man bi ma àggee fooli gars yi ba pare.
when I arrived, following the men, and after that,
defuma action again de gars yi taxaw xaar gars yi ñoom ay ji ak délégué ak gars yi ñëw dem straight ci digga bi.
I did not do any other thing. We waited for the IG and his delegation to come and join us.
bi ñoom ay ji duggee ba pare nag den man suma boppam man si gannaaw laa dee taxaw man du ma dee nekk ci digga bi.
When the IG and his delegation took the middle part of the parade, I went behind because that is where I normally stand.
Please continue.
So foofu la nag nañ def identification.
So that was when the identification was made.
Before the identification was made, Mr. Colley, I know that perhaps this incident is something perhaps you don't want to remember because it was a scary event, and it looks like there are memories that perhaps are not really quite coming to you. But just, we want to get the details of what happened on that day. Did anything happen before the identification and selection started? For example, in a normal parade, somebody would have to address the parade before anything happens. So on that particular occasion, did anybody address the parade?
Mr. Colley, xam naa ne mbir la moo xam ne lu raglu la pour nga toog di ko fàttaliku xam naa ne dafa raglu waaye nag li ma bëgg a xam rek mooy ndaje moom bi mu amee ba pare ndax am na kenn koo xam ne taxaw na jiite ndaje mi gaaral fa yan kàddu yoo xam ne moom lañ fa feeñal.
boobu IG moo ko dee def.
That one is usually done by the IG.
And what did he say?
moom lan la wax IG bi.
Guy round nañu whole the building.
They went around the whole building.
Léegi am nañu identify.
So there were some people that were identified.
So they am pour génne leen.
So they had to now take them out from the rest.
Did he say anything else?
Ndax am na leneen lu mu wax.
After identification bi.
No, at that point when he was addressing the parade, did he say anything else?
Déedéet jamono ji nga xamee ne mu ngi doon gaaral kàddu ci ndaje moomu police yi daje na am na leneen lu mu fa wax.
Ñii dañ ñëw pour uti doomu yi fi nekk.
That these individuals have come to fish out the witches or wizards here.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Witness. We have come to the break now. We will continue afterwards. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's the end of the, well, we will pause here for the time being until after the break and continue with the testimony of the witness.
Jërëjëf seede bi waaye suñu waxtu noppaleku jot na ñu dem break ba ñu dellu si waat.
Thank you, Council, and thank you, Mr. Colley. We will take a 30-minute break and come back at 12:05. Thank you. Meeting is adjourned.
You didn't call.